so glad and proud to have with me Homa Sarshar, well-known journalist in the community of Iranian Americans who has dedicated her life and work in search of bringing positive message in today's media. Homa Sarshar, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How do you feel about the way media is portraying or telling the story of the Colorado shootings? And what's your feelings?
You know, it's always when something happens, like when media is challenged with a crisis like this, it never is, the reaction of the media is never something that you can tell how they go. It's always a surprise. And I always in asking myself as a journalist and as a media person, how should we handle this kind of crisis? Should we get to the core of the problem? Should we just leave everything and 24 hours per day talk about this? Should we show the image of the deranged person that caused all this trouble and all this tragedy? Or should we just inform people how to do it, stay with audience, calm them a little bit? Because all these are the role that media plays. Media should inform, media should be with people, media should, in time of crisis, to be a vehicle for people to get information and also to empathize and to sympathize with people. So for the last few days when I was watching TV, I saw some people very angry the way that media was showing the picture of the guy, and they said, we don't want to look at him. He is a crazy person. He is a murderer, and why are you showing his picture all the time? Talk about the tragedy, but don't show. So this puts all the people from the media in a situation to decide what to do and to be more responsible. I think as we go along and as we see different kind of crises happening, I see that in United States media is really acting responsibly. Sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand and out of control, but well, this comes with the territory. You know, there are young journalists that think that they should cover up too much and they should talk too much, but if they can take a medium and stay away of it and not get too excited to cover it all the time and to talk about it all the time, or to go through stuff that is not needed, that would be good.
Now let's take it a step further and talk about the role of media in general and how the parents that I talk to on a daily basis, they're really fed up with all the negative messages, all the aggression, the violence, the content of media, which has become empty, aggressive, and full of terror. Speaking of, you know, I think many of our youth and children are being raised either in virtual terrorism or actual terrorism.
I see.
And what happened to all the good, the intention of the media really bringing positive messages, uplifting, epic experiences for youth to really take on, you know, do something good for their community?
Well,
Batman and the, you know, the story of Batman, you know, my son, he's 4.5 and he loves Batman. And I was heartbroken, you know, I had to sit with him, I had to really put in energy and effort in educating him, telling him, I don't like the way, you know, they're killing each other, I don't like Joker. But I could see amongst other families that we socialize with, many parents are not as involved in educating their children about the content of the media.
Exactly, you hit the point, Nelly, because I was going to tell you that this is where family comes, and the role of the family to educate their kids. Because you see, Batman or violent movies like this is in the United States, it's in Canada, it's in Japan, it's all over. But yet, in the United States, you have 11,200 people killed last year alone with this kind of crime, and in Japan it was 58% for the whole year. So it's the way the value system in the family in Japanese culture, as opposed to the value family in the United States, that makes or break the deal. And you can teach your kid to watch this as something that is not real, and something that they should learn about it, that violence is not good, and you should learn that these are not something that you should follow up. Or you can just let them watch it and become one of them.
Sure.
This is the biggest and the most important role that the family has.
So the responsibility lies on the parents' shoulder, the parents and the community together. It takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
I believe that in today's media, from a social responsibility point, you know, the self-regulation of children and our youth can be significantly influenced by what type of messages the youth and the children are fed. And so at an early intervention, or from an early intervention perspective, I think, you know, people like yourself and people who are the front leaders and really trying to make a positive change, trying to create that shift and paradigm, have a crucial job and responsibility, and I thank you for that.
Well, we're trying our best, Nelly, but don't forget that we have a big competitor and enemy that is called internet.
Sure.
So the conventional media like TV or radio or print print media is right now it's on the second row. If you want to think about something that can impact our kids, is first of all is internet and social media, and then it will come the conventional media.
I've already started talking to my 4-year-old and 3-year-old even about the too much television damages your brain. I'm educating them. This is what your brain looks like. You know, we talk about the brain and what your brain is doing for you, and how this media really influences how you think and feel and get rest and sleep or not get rest, and how the brain grows. Really.
I know, and I don't want to be in your place, in your shoes right now, because when we raised kids, we didn't have those problems. I know it's going to be very tough these days to raise a kid, and good luck to you, and more power to you and your generation.
Thank you. Okay, what's going on in your life as far as new development in your,
my career?
Your career, yeah.
Well, I have reached to some point that I think that having like a regular media program on TV or radio is not the thing that I'm looking for. I have been working for 46 years, non-stop, with no vacation, and these days I'm mostly by myself, reading, writing. I may decide to write another book. I'm in the middle of putting together my thought about that book, and this is what I like. And also I'm an observer like that. I watch TV, I listen to the radio, and I see how much different these days being a host is from my time, and how much your generation should work more than us, and what you need to be careful about, that we didn't have a small worry about it, because it was not our case. You are dealing with drugs, alcoholism, crimes, and everything that is all over the world, and for us this was not a problem. But I think that media has right now is in a different world than ours. So for me and my generation, it's best to just sit back and be just the wisdom of an old generation or the past generation. And if you can have some advice for you, just give you that advice, and that's it.
Yes, I know you have always been there for me, and you are for the youth, and especially the artists and writers and creative minds, and I've always admired that about you, and I know your passion and love for Iran, and I believe you have played a tremendous role in bridging the gap between the two cultures. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for all that you've done.
I love your generation, and I think you came a long way from. Your generation have been the bridge between two countries actually, and two cultures, and you came up great. And I'm always proud of Iranian young generation and the second generation that has been raised here, and you have done a great job. And from my part, thank you.